Thank you for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. A lot of systems moving in, some big systems sliding by into the southern United States that will eventually move into parts of the Caribbean. Look at this snow depth, the snow cover by the time we get into about a week and a half from now. Look how far south it stretches. There'll be some snow in parts of Texas, back toward the southeast United States, even some snow by the middle of the month potentially in parts of Florida. That's how far south some of these bigger systems are going to get, and that means we're going to see some cold air, really cold air moving from Canada into the U.S. and then down into parts of the Gulf and the Caribbean. Some of the chilliest weather of the season will be moving in over the next couple of weeks. A couple big cold blasts headed our way for many of us, and at least a little bit chillier for us in the Caribbean. So this is a look ahead. This is January 6th. The first kind of a blast of colder air moves down. So we're going to see a series of these mega systems, southern systems, kind of working across. Let's go out in time here and get into January 7th, and you see that wind all the way down to the south, all the way through parts of Central America, coming out of the north right here. That northerly flow moving into the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico to show you how far south some of this chillier weather gets. Then pulling forward into January 8th, look at this colder air. There are the winds all the way down toward Cuba, near Jamaica, coming in out of the north. Now, this is January 8th, but as we go out in time further, deeper into the month, we're going to see even colder weather sliding in for many of us. So going way out in time here, look at this. By January 12th, look at some of these winds here, and the winds are everything when it comes to the temperatures. The winds diving down out of the north all the way down near Honduras, Nicaragua, Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. By the time we get into mid-month, January 12th, we're going to see our biggest front of the season moving in for a lot of us in the Caribbean, and that means some Arctic air moving from Canada right across the United States, and that's why where there is going to be some precipitation, which would be rain or snow, it most likely would be snow in many spots, even as far south as the southern United States, especially by about January 12th. Parts of Florida could see some flurries, parts of the northern Bahamas. Also the potential of some snow flurries by the time we get into the middle of the month. So looking ahead here, this is January 5th. This gives us a feel of some of the temperatures or just the surge of some colder air. The Arctic blast moves in January 5th, 6th, 7th from Canada into the United States. But then we get a second system, an even bigger system, or I'll show you that in a second, across the southern United States. And that allows the colder weather to get even more down to the south. Here's kind of that line of where that front will be by January 12th, right through Hispaniola, back through Jamaica, over toward parts of Honduras and Nicaragua, and that colder weather just surging in behind it. So at least in the northern Caribbean and in Central America, we're going to get some much chillier weather by the time we get into the middle of the month. Huge changes for the month of January. All right, taking a look at what's been going on in the short term, everything's been moving west to east. So we haven't been seeing the fronts diving as far to the south, but those fronts are going to start to work their way to the south as we work our way into January. So taking you through, I'll zoom down in just a second. This here is by January 1st. This here is January 2nd, the 3rd, 4th, just ticking ahead. By the 4th, there's that first system right across the middle of the United States right there. There's some snow, a mix, and some rain right there. We'll have some of those scattered showers still on the warm side across the Caribbean. There's that first system. So by the 5th, 6th, 7th, working across the United States right there, there's the first shot of some colder weather working into parts of the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf states. That will be sliding by. Still that easterly flow for us, though, in the Caribbean, but it will be that second system that will be even more to the south once we get deeper into January. This is by the 7th. You see how far south these systems get. Look at that snow, parts of Mississippi, Alabama, back into Georgia, even the panhandle of Florida. With that first system, there could be a little bit of snow sneaking in. Then that moves off. This here, ticking ahead, the 9th, January 9th, and you see that front that moves through Bermuda and then all the way down to the south. But here comes the next bigger system, kind of a mega system for this time of year, sliding across. Look at the snow, parts of Texas, Louisiana, to give you an idea of how far south this cold weather is going to get. And then by the 10th, 11th, 12th, there's that next system that will be rolling by. This one allows that colder weather to get even more down to the south. Still, initially, that easterly and southeasterly flow back out ahead of it across the Caribbean. This is by the time we get into January 10th, but then we'll see this front continuing to dig more down to the south. So not just west to east, but also moving down to the south. So once we get into January 12th, a lot of us will have that front moving by. You can see it here moving across the Bahamas, near Cuba, Jamaica, back through Central America. That will allow that colder weather to move in, and there is a chance of some snow flurries as we work our way back toward the northern Bahamas. Once we get into the middle of January, that'll be possible, at least a cold rain at times for a lot of us, but this is that bigger front that will be moving by. So really two, right around the 5th and 6th, and then by the 11th and 12th, another front that will be moving by. Bigger picture right now, watching one front pulling by parts of the Atlantic region of Canada, northeast U.S., stretching all the way down through the Bahamas, Cuba, near Belize. And you see that moisture that it's kind of feeding in the western Caribbean. Here's that system. You see the spin up toward the Great Lakes right here. And then a few more systems back toward the Rocky Mountains coming out of there. But as we go over the next few weeks, we're going to see these bigger systems diving down to the south. So there's that moisture. Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, some of that rain scattered about close to the Cayman Islands, watching Belize. For us in the eastern Caribbean, not as much. We've had a couple little showers near Martinique, near St. Lucia from overnight. Let me know in the comments if you've gotten anything. So zooming down, we have some of the extra rain, scattered showers, Costa Rica, Panama right here. So this is by the time we work our way into the afternoon. Could see a couple for us in Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana and Suriname. We're still watching out for some of that rain that will be around as we go over the next few days. But a lot of us will be on the dry side with some beautiful weather. You can see here by tomorrow afternoon, parts of Central America, and then watching near Trinidad, but especially south near Guyana and Suriname, just an old front to the north, clipping by Antigua, Barbuda. We may get a little shower over toward Anguilla and back through Puerto Rico. Then as we work our way into Wednesday, you see some of the scattered showers possible, Trinidad and south, and then still seeing some of that rain, parts of Central America, even trying to pick up a little bit. Belize, Guatemala, by the time we get into Wednesday, we'll see some of those scattered showers that will be around. Now the sea is not bad, at least today, back through the Gulf of Mexico, back into the Caribbean, the Atlantic passageways. That's where things are rougher, 2 to about 2.5 meters. So we're looking at about 7 feet in some spots. And of course, building through Bermuda, that system pulling off the northeast U.S., some higher seas. This is by tomorrow. Things as a whole looking good, including through the Bahamas. By Wednesday, things building again over toward Bermuda. But as we get deeper into January and these bigger fronts move in, of course, we're going to have elevated and very rough seas in some locations. So here's that spin right up through here. You see some of the rain and snow on the backside over toward Quebec, over toward the Great Lakes. That's what's pressing by toward the Atlantic region of Canada. Here we are in Bermuda, watching out for this front that will just kind of clip by with a chance of a couple showers. And then by tomorrow, Newfoundland, you can see by the time we get into tomorrow afternoon, a cold rain for some of us. And then we'll be watching out for this other system doing the same thing as we work our way into Wednesday. See some of the snow over toward New Brunswick, some rain possible, Prince Edward Island. You can see Nova Scotia seeing some of that rain as this system will work in Wednesday night right up toward the Avalon Peninsula with some rain and then some snow on the backside of it. In the short term, rain totals are not very high at all. Passing shower may give us 10 to about 25 millimeters of rain, maybe a quarter to an inch of rain in some spots. Watching out for some spotty showers nearby the Cayman Islands. Jamaica, we don't have a lot. Could see a couple of hit or miss showers just the tail end of the front through St. Martin, back through St. Croix over toward Tortola, back into Puerto Rico. Slight chance of a shower. There's been a couple around I mentioned overnight near Martinique, but the rain chance not too high, so the total's not too high. Could see a little bit more Trinidad and Tobago into the south through parts of Guyana and Suriname. You see some of the purple showing up. 3-day rain totals may be around 50 millimeters of rain or 2 inches of rain. But but eventually building near Guatemala, even El Salvador, inland to western sections of Honduras, back through Belize, scattered showers, Costa Rica, Panama, where we'll have a couple locations of 50 millimeters of rain, or about 2 inches of rain over the next couple of days. Mexico City back through Texas, we're on the dry side. So that rain chance is not very high, a 20 to 30% chance of an isolated shower for us in Jamaica. Today, about a 40% chance in the Cayman Islands, just because we have some showers nearby this morning. But tomorrow and Wednesday, the rain chance is down to about 20%. But Trinidad and Tobago, that's where it's a bit higher. We're not looking at a washout, but a 40 to 50% chance of scattered showers over the next few days. Barbados, rain chance pretty limited, 20% chance tomorrow, and a 20% chance the next few days right across St. Lucia. Rain chance Grenada, 40% today, 20% chance for tomorrow. In the next 3 days, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, only an isolated 20, maybe 30% chance of a shower. Same thing as we work our way into Martinique. Rain chance very low, Dominica, over the next few days. Could catch a shower today, then mainly dry tomorrow. Guadeloupe, 20% chance, and a 20 to 30% chance early to midweek. Antigua and Barbuda, rain chance, we're generally dry today. St. Kitts, Nevis, and Montserrat, 20% chance of a shower by tomorrow. Same thing on Wednesday, 10 to 20% chance. Anguilla and St. Bart's, 10% chance for today. St. Martin, Sebastian, beautiful sunshine will be around. Rain chance 20 to 30%, very isolated in Puerto Rico the next few days. Just getting brushed by a shower or two for some of us in the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. Watching the Bahamas, 20 to 30% chance of rain, but colder weather surging in for January. Turks and Caicos, rain chance stays on the small side. And the rain chance down in the Dominican Republic. We'll have about a 30% chance, though, once we get into Wednesday. We're mainly dry across Haiti. Rain chance, though, 50% today in Belize. And once again, by the time we get into Wednesday, we'll have some scattered showers around, so a little more active in Belize. Rain chance holding at about 30% in Aruba, 30% chance in the next few days. Curacao and Bonaire would be a passing shower. It's a little higher, though, as we work our way into Guyana and Suriname, as I mentioned. That's where that rain chance will be a bit higher. About a 60% chance northern sections, even central sections tomorrow into Wednesday. Cuba, rain chance 20 to 30%, 60 to 70% chance though. Costa Rica and Panama. Nicaragua, about a 40 to 50% chance, and scattered showers possible as we work our way into Honduras, 40 to 50% chance the next few days. It does start to build tomorrow into Wednesday. Guatemala and even in El Salvador. I've shown you that with the models. We're mainly dry with some cool nights across Mexico City. 20 to 30% chance of rain the next 2 days. Yucatan Peninsula, Mexico. Northern Colombia, 20% chance. 30% chance as we work our way into northern Venezuela. And as these fronts pass by Bermuda, not a lot with them. Most of the action is holding just up to the north. So lots to track going forward. January will bring us that very active period. Big time cold fronts get closer. We'll be tracking that chilly air coming in, even some snow trying to get far to the south, and watching out for some areas of flooding. As these fronts approach, they will draw in a little extra moisture, kind of tugging at some moisture, even from the Pacific side. So I'll be watching that and monitoring, of course, any earthquake activity. Thank you for being with me, and have a great start to your week.